Everybody, Matthew Saliba here with GIS 510 presenting my final project description. I decided to look at the acreage of Wake County parks and greenways that fall within a floodplain and within 1 mile of a major road inside Wake County. And these are my data layers here in my table of contents. I needed to get Wake major roads data. I needed to buffer those with a 1 mile buffer. I pulled Wake Parks and Greenways from the Wake Public Open Space data. That includes all public open space in Wake County. And then, of course, the floodplain data was a vital part of this analysis as well. And then I needed the Wake County boundary to make sure all of my data fell within Wake County. And I pulled all of these data layers off of Wake County's GIS website, which is a great resource to get any information pertaining to Wake County. So I was able to pull all of these from there. And to answer my first question, I of course had to query the Wake Public Open Space data to pull the parks and greenways information. I then had to get the major roads inputted and buffer those with a 1 mile buffer, and then do an intersect to find out where the parks and greenways intersected the floodplain and this 1 mile road buffer here that I set up. So the results of that are in my map. And you can see the green areas represent the parks. This big green blob here is Umstead State Park near the airport. And the green obviously indicating the parks. The greenways are a little bit harder to see unless I zoom in. They're pretty narrow. But you can see the green dots are all of the different Wake County parks. And the red areas are the results of question 1. That is the areas that fall within 1 mile of a major road and inside of a floodplain. And the blue areas represent the floodplain data, and the black lines you see are the major roads. The major roads actually serve two different purposes. One was for adding a reference point to the map since there aren't any city names on here. And the other part was to make it a little bit more complex in adding that 1 mile buffer to my analysis results. So this is something that I was able to easily translate into my online web map, and that's here. And again, I'm just showing the parks and the red areas, which indicate the analysis results from my question 1, which were how many acres of parks and greenway space fall within a floodplain within 1 mile of a major road in Wake County. And the second question I plan to answer using this data is how many parks are affected by that. So the number of parks that have acreage that fall within a floodplain within 1 mile of a major road. And the third question I plan to answer is how many miles of major road fall within a floodplain in Wake County. And I can actually add that data on here so you can see it. And there it goes. I took it off so I could see my analysis results a little bit more clearly. So those are the 3 questions I plan to answer. I pulled all of this information off of Wake County's GIS website. They have a whole host of resources there for anything pertaining to Wake County. So all of the information I got off of the Wake County website, and I don't anticipate any problems answering the next 2 questions of my analysis.